went for a third base when Gumio was just two basing him. So that hurt too. Where Classic just tried to go economy on us and did not work out. Anyway, the second time he tried to go mech, it didn't work. So I'm not really worried about it, honestly.
Yeah.
For TVP. But this is a PVZ. Why are we talking about mech, honestly?
Yeah, anyway, in the top right-hand side of the map, we have got NightMare playing for there's the Maturino team. They're not actually called Team Maturino, but they are supported by Maturino, and we actually have a Maturino link for you guys to use today, so that is a good segue.
That's way good. And in the bottom left, we have Rex, our Red Zerg player. He is Taiwanese. He's playing for Onside Gaming like an absolute boss.
Yeah, Rex is a guy that has proven that you can't sleep on him or disregard him. He has some good upset potential here and there.
Yeah, so the current roster is Maru, Ryung, Rex, and Solar. What a weird group. For Onside Gaming. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean...
Maru, Ryung, Rex, and Solar. Yeah, any more clans are, they're smaller, and they just have weird combinations of players in there.
Yeah, just to make sure that they have a big enough roster for, like, the World Team League.
Yeah. Pretty fun stuff.
Make sure you guys use that 1-up there on the stream. Get everyone on in here. If your friend asks what you're doing this Saturday night, tell them you're watching Starcraft.
Yeah, the football's pretty much over. Although you guys probably don't watch football. There's not a lot of overlap in football and Starcraft fans. I'm one of them, but there are not many of us.
you're carrying that torch.
Bovine likes football. Yeah. We're weirdos, though. Esports and ball sports people do not mix very much. Anyway, what are you doing? Rex had to take his second base at the third base. No big deal. He's getting his gas and his pool, and he's probably going to take a third at the natural here. It'd be pretty funny to go two base off of this, right?
Oh, it would be, yeah, nuts.
Your second base is way up there. Like, that'd just be weird. I don't think I've seen that tried.
I mean, you could, I guess, like, say you threw up, like, a Roach Warren at this base. The Protoss probably isn't going to scout it out. So maybe. It would be darn cool if he did. I'd want to see him do it now, but...
Yeah, that might actually be super cool. Rex, don't take a third. Two base roach this guy. He'll never see it coming.
Yeah, just hope he doesn't make a Void Ray, and you'll be fine.
But it's not a Stargate opening. It's a Twilight. Interesting. Dude, he's... Every time a Protoss player opens non-Stargate against Zerg, it's just like, do you want to get hit by Mutos? Is that what we're doing here? Are you inviting that? Because you kind of are, right?
Yeah, a little bit, that's for sure. Adept goes on in, gonna cut up these lings a little bit. Drones actually pull into the Adept, but its shields have been whittled down. Second Adept's coming on in, but so far, pretty darn... Well, not standard in the sense that you pointed out that Stargate isn't the choice by NightMare, but still a fairly normal opening.
Yeah. And I mean, the Robo is straight up telling us this is probably Resonating Glaive Adepts. It could be Charge Lots with a Warp Prism. There's the Resonating Glaives, though. Yeah, so this is a two-base. We'll see how much of an all-in it is. Sometimes this is a two-base super all-in, warping tons of Adepts into the front. Sometimes it's we get a third base and don't go crazy with the Adepts and see what we can do that way. But Adepts shading into that third base of Rex, up that left side a little bit. I'm going to call that the third base. Where'd they go? Yeah, no, they're just hanging out outside. Gonna make... There we go. Warp Prism. Now that the Robo's done and a Roach Warren gets tossed up. There we go. Very smart. Really, I have seen players hold this with Queens and Lings alone. But having Roaches or Banelings really helps in this situation.
Yeah, it really does. And we'll see. I mean, what is it? Zerg should really stop around like 40 drones if they got something like this coming their way. Rex is currently at 38. He's going to lose a few to these two Adepts, unfortunately. So that might make him squeeze out a few more drones. And really, he doesn't need to just be making units at this point.
Yeah, he just fired up 10 Lings. Awesome stuff. No drones in production here. He started a Queen and canceled it. That's interesting.
Yeah, I guess... not sure what that's all about. He did get a scout off.
Okay.
An Overlord poked in and out, so he has a good sense on this. He is making a lot of Lings and some Roaches now.
Resonating Glaives is not done. These Lings have a bit of a window here where they can get more work done than normal, but they're going to pull back. They're bought time for the Roaches to pop. 3 of them are out. 7 more, 8 more in production. Really firing up this Roach count. And this should be a hold for Rex, unless he really screws this up somehow.
Yeah, it's really all about the positioning at this point between these players. The Adepts don't shade in there. NightMare's going to try and rotate around towards the third base location. However, he's got roaches, so he doesn't really have to worry about dying to this, like, up front.
No. And it looks like NightMare is going to try to get what he can here. Looks like he's setting up to get a third base. Nice Ling surround with roach support. But not enough roaches. Those Lings melt real fast to resonating glaives.
They do, and I think these drones are going to have to skedaddle on out of here as those Adepts, nothing's really chasing them. So Rex taking some damage towards his main, and there's no follow-up or anything. The Prism is out of here. It actually died.
Yeah, oh, that's huge. Okay, that explains the third base the NightMare's throwing up. I think he maybe would have kept warping in and not gone for that third base in this position, but losing the Warp Prism means you can't.
Yeah. Warp Prism means the end of the rush, and look at this.
Yeah.
Rex has got a killer's instinct. He says, okay, you're gonna push me like this? I'm gonna go across the map and counter and kill you, because he did morph in a couple Ravagers and made another big swell of Lings.
Yeah, that Obs is like, okay, I see roaches heading across the map here. A little bit of droning up behind. There's a Dark Shrine on the way. What's up, Phoenix? Is there not a code this week?
Oh,
for the players
did that not get put through? Do we not have a code?
That's what Phoenix is saying. I don't know. We'll take a look at it after this game.
I will try and write that immediately. But then I also got to observe, so I'll try and fix that after this game, and hopefully Maturino puts it through quickly.
Fair enough. So yeah, this Mass Adept versus Roach Ravager Ling is not going to do very well. The Dark Shrine might be sneaky. There is Unimmortal. This is kind of fun. Just kind of being cheeky with a War Prism Immortal, bouncing around there, trying to deal with those roaches.
Yeah, there is no answer to these DTs, however. Like, literally none.
Oh, does he not have a Spore?
He doesn't have a Spore. He doesn't have a Lair.
Oh,
so NightMare actually warps in some DTs right in the face of Rex. That will be it. He's going in with all of his Adepts right now, which is a bold play. Might not be too relevant, though, if he can just warp in a few DTs and potentially kill Rex. I mean,
Rex, buddy.
Yeah.
How do you not have detection at 7:30, man?
He's just so focused on defending against this, but NightMare, like a smart Protoss, isn't just going for one thing. He's got a sneaky Sucker Punch coming on in, and oh no, he's not gonna make those into Archons, is he? No, okay, he's going in with them, and I wouldn't be surprised if Rex just GG's right now.
Yep, this is a GG. He doesn't have a lair like you said. Yep, there we go. Brutal. Such a brutal way to lose a game of StarCraft. Really hurts, man.
Yeah.
Zerg players, get detection by 7 minutes. Recommended action. Yeah, I mean, look, he was losing drones. He was really taking a beating there on worker count. Let me if I can take a look at the workers active graph here. Yeah, I mean, it is a significant worker advantage. It's 3 bases to 3 bases. The Zerg player is really not mining from 2 of his bases. He's at about 40 workers, and we're all the way up at like 55, 60 for NightMare on the other side. So even without those DTs, that is Rex playing from behind big time. But, yeah. Oh, no, Aki says that she sees the contribute button. Oh, no, there's a contribute button, but not a contribute for free button. Got it.
Yeah, I must have forgot to apply for that with Maturino. That is my mistake.
All right. Good to know.
Anyone may still contribute to that, and hopefully someone from Maturino's awake to get that through before the end of the event.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So yeah, like I was just saying, I think Rex is behind anyway. The DT just kind of ended the game earlier than it would have, I believe. So we're going into game 2 anyway, though. Here on Radisset Station. I'm going to go with that. I have no idea how that's supposed to be pronounced, but that sounds right to me.
Yeah, I have no idea either. I'm looking at this. Like, maybe if the D and H are silent, it might be like Rowset Station or something.
Right? Could be.
Radset Station.
Oh, man.
Whoset? Rad Whoset? Oh, my gosh. 9 maps. We forgot about the impact that it would have on being a caster. More maps to remember to pronounce.
Well, if they have regular names like Solaris, we're okay. It's not that big a deal. But I think Rataset seems pretty good. It's kind of a funner map, too. Look at this. We'll take a look at it in a second here.
Oh, it's a very gray map.
It is. They're not super colorful, not much greens or anything else going on here.
All right, in the bottom left, he is Rex.
And in the top right is our guy, NightMare. But yeah, check it out. Your natural base is straight across. And then you've got a kind of wider ramp to wall off there. What's on the other side? No, you don't have to wall off 2 ramps, do you? That's impossible. No. Okay. So one of them leads into a relatively easy to take 3rd base, but you have to mine some minerals out before you can take that. So this is one of those maps that kind of has an automatic 3rd if you want it.
Yeah, and generally you do want it, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always felt that's kind of nicer for Terran and Protoss, because they're the ones going to have to worry about attacks into their 3rd. Zergs are like, I don't know, 3rd base, 2nd base, everything's exposed anyway. It's not a big deal, but we have a safe 3rd. Yeah. Phoenix, it is NightMare and Rex. We also have Nice. And where did I... Ryung, that's right. From Onside Gaming.
Thank you for your Matrino contribution there, Phoenix, by the way. The players greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. 100%. So always thanks for that. Now, Overlord cruising across. Desert landscape here. We'll see if NightMare takes advantage of the potential for an earlier 3rd base than he normally could against a Zerg player. Because really, I mean, let's take a look at what's protecting that 3rd. I mean, it looks like there's a mineral wall and there's debris and stuff.
Yeah, it's very hard to get through this.
Wow, that's like the most aggressively walled off anything I've ever seen in Starcraft 2. Look at that.
I did actually have a game that I was playing a while ago that my opponent did break through the rocks and started to mine out the minerals. I'm like, no! But he mined out a patch of minerals and I just put a depot there. I'm like, all right, problem solved.
Right! It's not even worth it to try to go through that. That's an insane amount of stuff.
Yeah.
That's really funny, though. Well, it is a Stargate opening this time from NightMare. A little more standard, a few more options than if you open Twilight, for sure.
Yeah, on a map like this, where you can fly right behind the natural with an oracle or something, makes a lot of sense.
You don't get trapped back there or anything. That's always nice. See, look, Zerg player is like, who needs safe 3rd base?
What is this drone doing?
Bad rally and dying?
Oh, yeah. It was so close.
It was.
That's not a nice start, though. Saves one of them, but he actually turned the wrong one into the spine crawler, so Rex is having a bit of a hard time defending this early aggression by NightMare.
It's not, I mean, it's unadept. I would not classify this as aggression.
Yeah.
It's harassment. It is barely qualifying as harassment, and Rex is having a hard time with this.
Yeah, that's true. It's basically the Protoss Reaper, right?
Yeah. It's very standard. There's nothing weird about this. I'm not sure why Rex is struggling so much. Come on, Rex. Now, wake up.
As someone who plays Zerg once in a blue moon, it's not easy to defend.
No,
As the Protoss, though, it's not... I mean, I'd say it's easier for the Protoss to shift-click the Adept on a couple drones and shade about than to defend it as the Zerg, but...
True.
Rex should have a handle on this. Oh, and he got supply blocked big time. He just made like 4 Overlords.
Oh, man. He lost the Overlord to the Void Ray.
Ah, that's why.
Yep. That would be it. Wow. So Phoenix donates $20 and then Somicron donates $20.01. The rivalry continues. Somicron continuing to have the upper hand here. Never not letting Phoenix have a single win. You must always defeat him. Somicron is not playing nice. Oh gosh.
No, Somicron is not playing nice for LaughNgamez.
Nope. Well, it's nice for the players, but it's not nice for Phoenix.
Oh,
Alright, man.
Spire attempt just getting shut down by the Void Ray.
Quick fleet beacon from NightMare,
quick
too.
fleet beacon, quick second Stargate. Rex is, or
What?
NightMare is looking to abuse the heck out of this map. And why not? I mean, it's almost impossible for the Zerg to attack you. NightMare has a complete wall at his natural. He's taken this pocket third base.
Yep. Oh man, it's an eye on pulse crystals. It's
Yeah.
range, mass phoenix with range? What is going on?
That's a bit of an odd choice, I think. But,
It is.
I mean, he'll be able to pivot later on into something else. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, just like trying to go for one of those weird Tempest rushes might have been better, but he saw the Spire already, so I guess that's why.
I guess. He figures Rex will go back into Spire, try to make some making mutas is so dumb right now.
Yeah, 9 drones have died through the early game harassment already. It's not great for the Zerg.
Not great, Bob. Not great.
Spire is on the way, but yeah, Rex is going to have to pool his queens, maybe make another couple Spore Crawlers to deal with these Phoenix. In comes an Oracle, gets another drone. NightMare is putting in the work and getting some value out of it. He spots the Phoenix, so he immediately starts up Carapace.
Yeah, which, man, I wouldn't even bother. I like the Roach Warren, though. Roaches are really hard for Phoenix to deal with.
Yeah, they are.
Corruptors. Okay, fine. You're going to use Corruptors, but man, in the hands of a good Protoss player, ranged Phoenix can really make Corruptors seem not as good as they should be.
Oh yeah, 100%. But it's like you got to do something as Rex, and NightMare's feeling pretty confident in this game as he just tosses up a cannon in every mineral line, making sure he won't get too backsided if somehow some mutas sneak around. He's now going into carriers. Corruptors are on the way, getting transfused by queens to keep him going. I think Rex, yeah, really needs a 4th base up right now. And I don't know what, just mass Corruptors?
It's got a Roach Warren, but he's not making any roaches.
Yeah, you don't want to
Infestation
make roaches.
Pit? So, like, get a fungal down on the Phoenix and then Corruptor burn him down? Is that the idea?
I mean, looking at it right now, there's no anti-air AoE for NightMare. Like, he doesn't have a Twilight Council yet. So there is going to be a window in which the Corruptors, say they dive, they could potentially get some work done if he goes out hunting.
Ooh, we get new mothership. Builds faster, maneuvers more quickly, cheaper. Completely, oh, not completely redesigned, but pretty close. Hey, look, another drone went down.
Oh
Awesome.
Gosh, these poor drones. 19 so far for nothing.
No.
Yeah, okay, an Oracle.
Okay. Now the trade is not as completely lopsided. Carriers. It's Sky Toss. It is 3-base Sky Toss, sub 10 minutes. But I mean, I don't know. Rex is already firing up +2 Carapace on his Corruptors. He's throwing up a Hive here.
Yeah.
Probably get some Vipers in, abduct into Corruptor type stuff into the plans.
I don't blame NightMare for doing this at all, and if I'm Rex, I'm a little bit worried, because, like, we talked about it as soon as you pointed it out on this map. It's like, yeah, the 3rd base is basically impossible to attack for the Zerg.
Yep, it's free.
And then as
So you don't have to, you don't have to invest in anything to defend it.
Yeah, you just spam down cannons and batteries at your 4th. Easy 4 bases on this map.
Yeah. And 4 bases can support Sky Toss pretty well.
Yes.
Pretty nicely.
And there's that Twilight Council on the way. You imagine that's going to lead into Psystorm for the Protoss. Rex is supply blocked again.
Oh, gosh.
Makes 10 Overlords. He's lost 3 Overseers and an Overlord this game.
So yeah, NightMare's just going for the very traditional carriers, Void Rays, maybe Archons, High Templar, Immortal. Just kind of that combination of Sky Toss that has been pretty difficult for Zergs who are not Serral, Raynor, Dark, and Rogue to deal with in the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Look at that.
If you're just not a top...
Sorry, go on.
No, if you're not a top 4 Zerg, this is really hard to deal with.
Yeah, 100%. Like, oh, just make Infestors, just make Vipers, just make Ultra. Yeah, like, it's... On paper, it works. If you're a god, it works. I mean, you can shut down Protosses and make them look silly, but... Turtle Sky Toss, as a crappy Protoss on the ladder, The amount of Zergs I beat that are better than me just because I turtle and then Psystorm them into oblivion, it's a lot.
Oh, man.
It is a little depressing seeing Rex invest in these Lings to go for some harassment, but it's like there's literally one base he can run them into. So not going to get anything done there. He is doing everything right that he can, though, getting the mass upgrades, the Ultra Cavern, the Baneling Nest, the Vipers on the way. It's just going to be all about that control.
All right. Yeah, he's doing all the right things. Like you said, Ultras, Corruptors, Vipers, getting Burrow? I'm not sure how useful that is, but sure, let's toss Burrow in here.
Why not?
Yeah.
Burrowlings at the base, isn't it? It works. He's actually making an Ultra.
Yeah. Neural Parasite's always a nice tool to have here in this situation. You know, if I'm these Lings, like, why not go to work on that debris, honestly? It'll take forever to get through it, but you've got Adrenal. Go for it, guys. +1's finishing up.
Then just bring 4 drones over to make a tiny hole in the wall.
Yeah. He's just putting no pressure on NightMare at all. None of NightMare's bases have been remotely threatened today.
I mean, he really can't. That's the problem.
Yep. All right, NightMare says, got the pieces, got my Archons, got my Void Rays, my Carriers, my Mothership. Do you have some High Templar down there?
Yeah, this is one of the options as the Protoss. You try and force the Zerg to engage sloppily. You go, okay, I'm attacking now, and then the Zerg has to control all these units at once. And we have already seen a couple Infestors get picked off. Now, this is without High Templar, that NightMare's going in, so I think it's more risky than it should be.
He's not even researching Storm, which I find weird.
No, he's got these Archons on the ground, which are his plan to shred the Corruptors, but they don't kill him as quick as Psystorm does. And with these Ultras, too, and the Lings coming in, I think NightMare could be overextending a little bit. There's a really good Time Warp, however, to start this off. Parasitic Bomb goes down, Carriers are being targeted down by the Corruptors, but there's the Archons doing their thing, but there's the Ultras on the ground working to clean these out. Corruptors come back on in, trying to target down these Carriers, and he is getting them all. Yeah, this was a big overstep by NightMare.
Yeah, tries to recall out of there way too late. The entire Skytoss army gets wiped out. Warp Prism limping home alone, lone survivor of that engagement. And yeah, that was well done by Rex. He did a good job staying away from the Void Rays, from the Archons with his Corruptors until they were taken care of, and then went in there and cleaned it up.
Yeah, now he's going to be looking for some counter damage before the Protoss rebuilds. Looks like NightMare's completely foregoing his air army after that slaughter of it. He's just warping in Stalkers, making 3 Immortals at a time, which is insane, but it will deal with the Ultras pretty darn well.
100%. I mean, that's what those Immortals, that's what they're there for. Working on +3 air weapons, which is a really nice thing to have. Greater Spire on the way from Rex. Try to add some Broodlords into this comp. They're a little bit faster, more maneuverable, speedier too, so it might be a little bit easier. Did he? No, he's just flying Corruptors up over there. Caustic spraying down 2 of these Stargates simultaneously, and that's what happens when all your air stuff is gone. Corruptors can kind of just roll in here and do it.
Yeah, now Rex does have to be a little bit careful, as NightMare is going all in on the ground. These 25 Corruptors can be a bit of dead weight. I mean, here goes the Zerg picking off those Void Rays. Big army on the ground. I think Lings really are the best choice for Rex to deal with this right now.
Yeah, Lings with +2 attack, almost +2. Adrenal. Broodlords, pretty good here, except the Blinkstalkers are a major threat.
Oh, big blink onto an Ultra. Takes 2 volleys to get it down. Here comes in the rest of the army. Corruptors are literally useless at this point, so it's all just about the ground versus the ground. There was like 1 Broodlord being made, and a couple more being made over there, but they're pretty late.
34 Lings coming in here too. 34 Lings and like 5 Broodlords should be able to clean this up. Warping in some Zealots at the 4th base, causing problems. And the third base goes down. Hatcheries dying is where things start getting really scary for a Zerg.
Yeah,
the Broodlords are...
They're so useless right now.
Yeah, and that is the larger problem here, is making that many Corruptors. Yeah, you can wipe out the enemy Skytoss army, but what if they don't rebuild a Skytoss army, guys?
Yeah. Yeah, Rex's economy just being slaughtered as he loses critical hatcheries, not mining at this base down here. He sends in one Broodlord to try and help, but it's not going to save the hatchery, and that's his economy gone.
Oh my gosh, Rex, buddy. He's trying to fire up more Broodlords. He had to free up some supply before he could do that, but another hatch is down. But NightMare's expanding down the right side. It's 170 and 140 supply, 79 to 45 workers. This is... Yeah, NightMare just rolled through and killed 3 bases, almost 4 bases of the Zerg, and is just... Is he coming back for more? Coming back for more. Lings do find that bottom right expansion of NightMare. They're going to shut that down. That's a small victory.
Yeah. Now in go the Corruptors. They can potentially work away on this Nexus or something. I feel like that's a little bit late, however. In go the Broodlords, catching an Archon. There's not quite enough Stalkers here to engage this.
No, Blinkstalker's good, but they're kind of outnumbered there. John Solo donates $20.02 to the prize pool. Thank you, John. That's hilarious. NightMare just casually sending probes into a war zone. Guys, maybe he's too worried about running away from the Broodlords, which are faster now. Rex is kind of turning this around a bit.
He is, however, now he's down on his anti-air, so we see NightMare going for Void Rays, going for carriers again.
Man, who says only Zerg can tech switch? This is beautiful tech switching out of NightMare.
Oh, yeah.
He's just beautifully countering everything that Rex is trying to do. He had all those Corruptors. They were useless against the ground army, so Rex makes something good against ground, and now Void Rays are going to show up. Oh, it's so brutal. Flux Fane's getting researched here, too. And Rex he's got almost no money. He has replanted these bases, but 43 drones at 17 minutes is not going to hold it.
Yeah, it's a real pickle here for the Zerg. He had a pretty bad start. Then he won a miracle engagement, and then he was woefully unprepared for the follow-up.
Yeah, I think he felt like he killed those Stargates, and he's like, no more Stargate units. It's like, no, but those can be rebuilt, Rex.
Yeah. He did get just the minimum amount of counter damage he needed done with taking out those 2 Nexus. It really did slow down the Protoss' economy, but we are looking at a NightMare who is maxed out again.
Look at this utter lack of creep spread. Nice fungal Broodlord combo. Ooh, chaining fungals. Stalkers getting wiped out. NightMare replacing those Stalkers with Void Rays, though. Smart choice. Look at this utter lack of creep spread, by the way.
Yeah, you as a Zerg definitely noticed that before I did, but...
Yeah, it is terrible. I mean, it was better. It got wiped out, to be fair. It's not like he's been ignoring it the whole game, but it is really bad right now. He needs to have some good Overlord placement, some good Link placement, because early warning system of creep is not going to help him from this point on.
Ling's trying to catch the Stalkers, but the Stalkers blink away. As time goes on, we are building up to a big showdown again, as these players are both approaching max. NightMare was there a little bit earlier, but the longer he gives Rex, the more equal it's going to be when they finally do engage each other. Ling's running in, got to run on out.
Yeah, Void Rays aren't good against Lings, but they'll handle that many Lings no problem. Tectonic Destabilizers on the way from NightMare to do extra damage from those Tempests onto buildings, specifically Spores. That upgrade was created for this matchup, where Zerg were creating giant spore forests that Protoss were finding very hard to breach. And so giving an extra bit of damage to attacks against buildings to the Tempest was the answer to that, and it seems to have worked pretty well. We don't see tons of spore forests anymore.
The niche upgrades that Blizzard made to address very specific balance problems.
Yep, very specific balance problems, but seriously, it was every PvZ.
Oh, yeah.
Had a spore forest if the game went past, the 15-minute mark for sure. But you're right. It was one matchup, one particular thing. What's up, Toys123 in chat? So, I don't know. Kind of felt like Rex was dead, but he's back up to maxed out. His economy's looking okay. He slowed down NightMare a bit. If he can handle this...
Oh, what is this?
Oh, that was an attempted recall.
He was setting up for a mothership play, but then Rex caught wind of it.
Oh, that's harmful and hurtful for NightMare. All right, he says go.
Yeah, he saw that the Brood Lord, or that the Corruptors were out of position, but in come the Infestors, getting some good neural parasites. Fungal growth's going down too. There's a couple of feedbacks on those units, but Rex just engaging caught NightMare off guard.
Oh, this is some beautiful spell casting on both sides now. Parasitic Bomb joining the party too. Corruptors dying all over the place.
There's not enough of them,
here
though.
To kill the Void Rays? Nothing kills the Void Rays. There's 2 queens, not ample. Quick, make Corruptors. You can only make 6 of them. These Immortals hanging out are very brave, but they're being covered, kind of, by the carriers, the Void Rays, and the Tempest. I don't know
it's
if
just not
Corruptors
enough
are enough.
anti-air, is it?
No!
GG.
Oh, brutal. Yeah, it is so hard as a Zerg player to know exactly how much anti-air versus anti-ground you need when the Protoss has got one of these very complex compositions showing up. Because, yeah, sometimes you overmake Corruptors, which is what he did in the first one. And then he undermade Corruptors in this engagement. And it went poorly for him. He was trying to compensate, and it went bleh. So, I feel for him, man. I feel for you, Rex. I've been there. I've been where you are. All Zergs have, I think.
Yeah, that is a painful one for the Zerg. Like you said, the spell casting on both sides was great.
Yeah, the way that final engagement opened, Rex is throwing down Neural Parasites, some beautiful fungals, and NightMare's retreating. He's getting his butt kicked. But then as soon as those Corruptors flew in, tried to engage, got wiped out, then that was it. The turnaround was on, and the Brood Lords were unsupported, and they died.
Yeah, like, neural parasiting the Archons was nice, but he really needed those spells, I guess, for dealing with the carriers and the Void Rays, since he didn't have that many Corruptors.
Right. And spells alone aren't going to do it. You're not going to kill a carrier with Parasitic Bomb and Fungal, I'm sorry.
No.
Never going to happen. Oh, another map I know how to pronounce. Hooray! They're being so nice.
Yeah, big thanks to everyone, by the way, for using or for contributing to the Matcherino.
Yeah.
The Starcraft 2 community really is awesome. We have some people willing to donate $20.01 and $20.02.
And $20 even.
Yeah, you guys are great.
So great. The greatest.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're on Golden Aura. It's a map we can pronounce. Hooray. Top left. He's up 2-0. He's feeling good. It's NightMare.
And in the bottom right-hand side of the map, he is Rex, showing us some great plays, but just not able to bring down NightMare so far.
Yeah, I was impressed that he came back from losing, 4 of his hatcheries in the last game. That's usually pretty much game-endy, but he fought back, nice counterattacks, built himself back up, just kind of built himself up the wrong way, which is tough. Somicron says, Protoss is so imba, couldn't win a literal coin toss. What? Be so imba couldn't win a literal coin toss. And Protoss has won so many tournaments this year. Right, but like we talked about earlier, if you're not a top 4 Zerg, that kind of stuff is really hard to deal with.
It is.
It's just the problem is that Serral, Dark Rainer, and Rogue make it look silly. They will crush it every single time and make it look non-viable.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a tool that Protoss completely don't have in this matchup at the highest levels of GSLs and ESL tournaments.
Yeah. Yep.
That's it.
You said it right.
Yeah. So you're right. Protoss is struggling, but man, in any situation where we don't have that top 4 Zerg representation, is he pulling his drones? What was that?
No, he was trying to get the probe.
No,
Nightmare's
don't do
messing
that.
with him. Nightmare's in his head.
Oh, Rax, don't do that.
Yeah, but you said it. You said it right, Falcon. It's just
Yeah.
like it opens up that debate again. Okay, do we balance for the top 0.001%
top.
players.
Yeah, top 10.
Yeah. Do we balance for the diamond players on the ladder? Or do we balance for the mid-tier pros? And then it kind of gets conflated at times in which, say, a better player will win with a different strategy that not a lot of other players can pull off. Then everyone will go, oh, this needs to be addressed. And it's like, well, did you look at who was playing in the first place?
Yeah. I like how Bjorn got Reapers nerfed, and nobody else was using Reapers like Bjorn. It was one dude.
Mm-hmm.
But they did it. So I think they really do tend to balance for the top 0.001% of StarCraft players, unless it's just some random quality of life thing with, you know, gateways automatically turning into warp gates or giving high Templar basic attacks, you know, stuff like that that helps out lower level players. But as far as balance goes for certain strategies, I can't remember the last balance thing they did that was for Diamond Masters League, you know? Or if you want to break it down even further, you know, people from 10 to 20 or 10 to 30 in the Ligulac rankings.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there's that Void Ray again. Well, Stargate again. Better map for the Zerg this game, I'd say. But regardless, NightMare goes for a very quick third base.
Toy says NightMare. Okay, so this is broken English, but NightMare lose me on rank so many times. Does that mean?
And he says he's only 5100 MMR.
So does Toys say he's beaten NightMare or NightMare beats him?
I think he says he beats NightMare.
Ah.
So he's pointing out that there's a
That's Terran.
discrepancy in the TVP matchup, which I don't know. No one's infallible.
Yeah. No one is unbeatable, that's for sure. And TVP is a different matchup than TVZ for sure. Or PVZ, which is what we're watching right now. Okay, a little better on the anti-air against the Oracle and the Void Ray here so far from Rex. Better opening from him.
Much better positioning. Now, NightMare is setting himself up for success, though, as he went for that very quick third base. Rex has scouted it. But I don't know what Rex is going to do about that, whether he'll just go hard on his own economy or plan some kind of attack. Oracle does nab itself 3 workers, gets a 4th, and gets out.
Alright, 4 workers down. Better than the last game for sure, but still not ideal.
Yeah, 4 workers normally you'd go, yeah, that's alright. But it does hurt a little bit when NightMare has got such a strong economy for himself.
Yep. NightMare casually 58 workers, getting Blink, getting +1. Has to actually defend his third base. Can you imagine?
Protoss in shambles.
The
Turtles
insults.
in shambles.
Right? And Robotic Support Bay for the first time today. I'll see some Colossus, maybe Disruptors out.
Yeah, definitely a ground-based style that NightMare's aiming for, and with the Muta choice by Rex, we could be heading into one of those situations which it's Mutas versus Protoss versus a ground Protoss, and things get hectic very quickly.
Things get real bad. Mutas versus ground Protoss is not fun. Not fun for the Protoss.
No. At the same time, sometimes the Zergs do just die, but that's why we see Rex mixing in some Roaches, mixing in some Lings. Who knows, maybe he'll just go Roach, Ling, Corruptor in order to deal with these Colossus.
God, the Lings are almost useless versus Colossus, though. I mean, if they can get a surround on a Colossus, it'll go pretty well for them. But any kind of situation where they're running up on a Colossus from one direction, they all just straight up die. I'm curious to see if that might work out. Alright, little Blink Stalker poking on. Trying to keep this creep from spreading. Gonna warp in 6 more Stalkers. Good grief. Yeah, and if you have enough Stalkers, Mutos don't fare very well against that either. Even though Stalkers are intended to go off, they do bonus versus armored, and Mutos are not that. But the Mutos say, why engage with those guys anyway? We're just gonna fly across the map and let the Stalkers do what they want to down here. Awesome.
Yeah, this is a good number of Mutas for Rex. So this means he should have a decent ground force to defend back at home, and it looks like he does. Queens and Ravagers coming on in, not at the best engagement, but he's still getting damage done back on the Protoss' side of the map. However, a few Stalkers warping in does help defend this. Only 4 probes lost. He really needs to get a few more probes killed.
By a few, I mean like 20, honestly. This is a big investment in Mutos. Okay, did force a recall. That's good. That's amazing, actually. And now sending his Lings op to join up with the Mutos, maybe? Or maybe force the defense into the main base and then Lings shut down this 4th base. Oh, yeah, that 4th base is dead.
Yeah, that's a real good move by the Zerg player. The Colossus are shooting from the high ground on the Lings, but there's the Ravagers coming on in. Stalkers going down to Lings isn't good because it means there's less to deal with the Mutas. A lot of Lings did die in that attack, but there's the Mutas still flying around. The 4th base went down. Overall, a good enough trade for the Zerg.
Yeah, pretty good. I like it. Good enough of the damage there.
15 roaches, 20 roaches were on the way for Rex, so he's just getting out a lot of supply. And I don't know if the Protoss will have the DPS to deal with just a large swath of roaches coming his way.
Yeah, it could be tricky. Colossus, not bad.
No,
Baneling Nest getting fired up here. What's up, Psychons? Welcome to the stream. And Disruptors getting fired up next. Okay.
Yeah, that is what
good answer to
NightMare
Roach.
needs.
Yes, for sure.
Is it going to be in time, though? The Zerg is maxed, and he's moving in. 122 supply to 87 in the army. A lot of that is Stalkers. There's a lot of batteries just going up now for NightMare.
That Colossus has 24 kills, and the other one has 29.
It's a lot of dead Zerglings, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, and more. More dead Zerglings thanks to those
that's not
Colossus.
Yeah, NightMare was able to keep the Zerg away long enough, so Rex just goes into a 5th base. That's a little later than I feel it could be. Going for a 6th base, too, is good to see. He's now getting a Hydra, a Hive, Baneling speed. Unable to kill the Protoss, and now he will have to deal with that max Protoss in all likelihood. So the Disruptors, possibly High Templar, and possibly air units, as we do have a fleet beacon on the way.
Yeah, NightMare says if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's get some more carriers out here. Another mothership would be cool. You know, some Void Rays with Flux Veins. Not playing against the top 4 Zergs, so why not Sky Toss it?
Yeah, NightMare did do a good job with his defense there. Being able to place down those stasis wards, position his army appropriately so the Zerg didn't feel it could engage.
Yep.
And now he is getting more and more comfortable. He'll build more and more static defense as time goes on. Getting more and more production.
Yeah, and it's just the great dichotomy that has been StarCraft 2 for a while now, is that GM has a ton of Protoss representation. Like, Protoss representation in GM is like over half of the GM ladder. But then at the pro level, they're not winning major tournaments. And yeah, it's because, you know, Protoss really good up through a certain level of StarCraft until you get to the very tippy top. And they just can't hold up at that point. So it's crazy because, you know, we have all these players saying nerf Protoss, they're killing me in Diamond and Masters and GM. But unfortunately, that's not what's being balanced for. What's being balanced for is that top level of StarCraft. And so the Protoss just aren't doing as well up there. It's just, I don't know if there's ever been anything like it in StarCraft before, where a race is doing so well in most ranks of StarCraft, just not at the, the finals of GSL or the finals of a WCS or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe Terrans, when the 2-on-1 was first invented, there was a lot of them around.
Maybe you have to go back that far.
But yeah, it is interesting. And
all right.
NightMare
I'm
is
loving
doing
this.
a good job playing the style that he needs to play. And now Rex did have really good spellcasting in the previous game. He's had an economic lead for a good portion of this game. So he may be able to get up the tools he needs to deal with this. However, he probably will have to trade out some of his supply soon. Catching a lot of these stalkers is really nice. That's a misplay by NightMare. He wasn't just throwing away that supply. So Rex trading out Roach supply for stalkers, and he can always just replace those. Corrosive Vials go down. He runs into the carriers, into the disruptors, so he will lose a lot of his army. Gets on out of there with some of it, but now he can make those corruptors that he wants. He's making hydras too, so he can get out lurkers. He's got to be careful though. He's going to lose a lot of those roaches and ravagers, and if you lose too much, all of a sudden you can be in trouble.
The lurkers, though, are going to do amazing against this ground army. Zealots charging into this right side base. No drones here, but that hatchery looks like it's going to die. Disruptor is trying to get some shots off. Missing a little bit there on those on the lurkers. Zealots getting cleared out there. Revelation will reveal the lurkers for us. Where are these corruptors? They need the corruptors to help. Fires up the cloak, which is a timed thing now, not permanent. Time warp trying to prevent the retreat of these lurkers. They get just outside of the time warp. The corruptors jump in. They do, and that's it. That's it for this army. They need to recall out of there. Mothership does manage to take some of the units out with her, and that's a hold by Rex.
Yeah, he managed to save this 5th base. It's gonna die with like 1 or 2 zealot swipes, however.
I am shocked that's alive.
It's almost better if it dies, the Zerg, because like, it's just gonna die in a second, and I can't really preempt that. And there's 1 zealot attacking.
Yeah, wrong place though, guy. Go get that other base.
This is almost the time as the Zerg that you build another hatchery right next to it, because you know it's gonna die.
Or just kill it yourself and rebuild a new one. Well, yeah, I don't know. That is tough. That's a weird situation to be in. Storm's on the way from NightMare, just about done here. Adrenal coming in for the Zerg +3 melee attack. And yeah, Rex is looking good. He's got a bit of a bank. So does NightMare, though. Economy's a little better for Rex, but it needs to be to keep up with a more cost-efficient play of this Skytoss style stuff. Zealots are heading this direction. They are heading this direction, but they probably get fully surrounded.
Oh, they're going for it.
No, they go
they
through!
get it.
Right through the defense.
Should have built another hatchery right next to it.
Ah, buddy. Those banelings were just like 2 seconds too late to just obliterate those zealots before they got in there. That was huge. Another spiral on the way for further upgrades, double upgrades for the flying stuff. Ultralisk Cavern coming in. We're getting into true late game ZvP here once the Ultra starts showing up. And +2 air weapons on the way from NightMare. He's not rebuilding that? What the heck?
This observer is in a great spot for NightMare, by the way.
It is.
Okay, in comes that big Protoss army. All the interceptors have been rebuilt. There's now High Templar loaded with energy. Looks like NightMare's going to go for another one of those snap engagements, saying, I'm not going to give you time to pre-split your army and set up all your casters. I'm going to attack you now. And these High Templar are so good at zoning the Corruptors. It's where a lot of the problems arise for the Zerg. The Archons on the ground will then kill them after they've been softened up. So Rex needs a good engagement.
Yeah, and the Lurkers can't keep up with the speed of this army. And the Disruptors are zoning those guys out, too. Corruptors might... I was going to say, there was a bit of a window to get a couple of these carriers. The Archons were kind of out there. There we go. Abduct and snipe. Looking good. The Hive is getting sniped on by Zealots, though, while all this chaos is happening. And we're consuming off it, too. So there we go. Let's transfuse the Hive. Warp inside the main base is going to try to get some stuff done. Rex going to lose that right side base again. This is just... Rex is just trying to deal with 18 fires at once right now and kind of doing okay, except he's lost 38 drones.
Yeah, this is kind of like what happened in the last game. NightMare just attacks. Rex kind of defends. But then he's just left with less bases, less workers, and yeah, I don't know what you do at this point as Rex now.
Yeah, I mean, he's throwing up some more infestors here, maybe hoping for some fungal to assist with that. He's counterattacking a little bit up. But that's... like, I guess that was maybe a Ling that ran up there. That's weird. Don't know what that was. Tempest being added. A single Swarm host being built, because that's what happens at the professional level of Zerg and the lower level of Zerg 2. NightMare being careful not to overextend here, but... I mean, that's a pretty entrenched Zerg position.
Oh, the feedback and Disruptor Nova combo gets a good chunk of that Zerg force.
Yeah, a bunch of lurkers went down there, not good. Broodlord count still a little bit heavy. NightMare, again, doesn't want to go in here and find himself surrounded or killed. Doesn't quite have the resources to rebuild that easily. So going to pull back, clear some creep.
Oh, he's
killing his own Colossus
Wow.
off in order to make more Tempests against the Broodlords.
I mean, it makes sense. He sees how many Broodlords there are going in. 12? If you have that much supply in Broodlords, can you defend against a pure air army?
No. It's too many Broodlords.
Okay, an attack moving up towards the top right-hand side of the map, but that Observer in a great position for NightMare. There's the Mothership waiting for the big recall too, and oh, this could totally catch Rex off guard and potentially cost him his big base to be moved out to the right side.
It's just some free units up there. I mean, they were going for something. Ooh, yeah, that Mothership hiding down in the corner is great. What do you got planned,
Oh, look
Mothership?
at that. There you go. He's coming. Is he going to go for the recall?
It's planned. Kind of like Grand Theft Auto 6. It's planned. This is weird, man. NightMare maybe overcautious here. I don't know. He's allowing the Zerg player to get further upgrades, get more bases up.
I still think he's got this one in the bag. Like, his bank is huge. He's got really good production at this point. 6 Stargates, Tempest galore against 15 Corruptors. There's gonna
Hey,
have
look.
to be some God-tier spells.
Fungal Whiff. See the Spore Forest?
There's the Mothership, finds a base in the bottom left.
And can't kill it, has to retreat. Oh, recalls in!
Brings its friends.
That was something. That was not the recall play we were looking for, I can tell you that much.
No, but he can do it again in 80 seconds. It's fine.
Yeah, not a big deal. Broodlords, we gotta get down here.
They're faster than they used to be, aren't they?
They're way faster than they used to be, but still not fast. I don't know. They're keeping up with Queens relatively well on creep. They're not bad. Not as pokey as they used to be. Alright. If Rex wins this thing, yeah, I feel like it's going to be a massive NightMare throw.
Yeah, a couple
Come on.
Ultras on the way, which is good. Ultra's pretty tanky. Satan's plating too. Rex is just chilling on such a low economy. He's like, if you want to win this game, NightMare, you will actually have to attack into me.
He didn't have a problem with it in the last game.
Good revelation. Possibly going to allow the Tempest to get some shots off.
Yeah,
Looking spores.
Spores are not long for this world, but wasting... Maybe not wasting, but using Tempest hits on Changelings is interesting. Could have killed the Spore there instead.
Abduct on the Mothership. That
And
goes
gone.
down. Oh, the Corruptor's going in, eating a bit of a Psystorm, and this whole Zerg force is moving forward. This seems rather bold. Fungal and Parasitic Bomb goes down, but there's still so much in the air.
The Archons are getting whittled down, though, by these Broodlords. They're chomping away on those dudes.
Yeah,
Queens up at the front, transfusing each other, eating some storms, and going down.
Yeah, we see more Corruptors coming on in here. They're looking to catch this force. There is another Parasitic Bomb actually whittling through the HP on that Protoss fleet, and he is starting to pop off these units one by one. There's a lot of Tempest left, however.
Gone. Are there enough Corruptors to do this?
Tempest were so low there.
They're so low, but there's not enough Corruptors left to actually kill them. Oh no!
Yeah.
And Rex has enough money to make 2 more Corruptors, does not have the gas to make any more than that. And these horribly almost dead Tempests are getting some work done, and now they're out of here. Don't lose any Tempests on the recall.
Yeah, now Rex has a bit of an economy. He's got this base up. There's some Zealots attacking down towards this critical base now, but the Ultras will deal with that. It's going to be whether NightMare is going to give Rex the time he needs in order to rebuild his army.
Yeah, he's firing up 40 lings because he had a lot of minerals and not much gas. Not a bad thing if you're trying to crack a base.
Void Rays and Tempest coming on in.
Yeah, not enough Corruptors to protect these Broodlords. They have to get out of there, but looks like Rex is maybe staging up for an attack in the top right.
Yeah, look at all the cannons.
But there's only 3 pylons powering all of it. Oh, 4.
I don't know. There's 4 pylons.
But these are Adrenalings, man. Shield battery overcharge has got nothing on those guys. These Zealots, however.
Yeah, 10 Zealots turns it around. I guess the Ultras could turn now, but they do not. The Tempests are still bullying the Zerg, who has, like, 5 Corruptors. And it was a good attempt by Rex, but his economy was just too low to take a trade like that. He needed, like, a perfect fight. He got a pretty decent fight, but he needed a perfect one.
If he'd been able to kill all those Tempests, I think it's a bit of a different situation. He's back up at the top right, by the way.
Yeah.
And a couple of mortals wander over that way to make the Ultras just very vulnerable.
Even if he kills a base, though, it's like NightMare still has a better economy than him and double the supply. It's not looking good for Rex. He's got heart, though.
He's sticking in it. This is an elimination game, and he knows it. It's like, maybe I can get lucky. Maybe NightMare will move command his army into me.
Maybe his internet will go out for 3 hours.
A very specific amount of time. Oh, our Ultras die so fast.
Yeah, nothing to deal with those Archons. And that's the economy of Rex gone, losing this hatchery.
Pretty much is. There's a few scattered mineral patches here, but nothing much to really base an entire economy on. NightMare throwing up a Dark Shrine. Went ahead, Dark Shrine, I think is what the saying is.
Yeah, he's like, alright, if I haven't been able to kill the Zerg with Disruptors, Archons, Tempest, High Templar, and Carriers, maybe blinking 12 DTs into his face will do. Oh, he's building the Nexus too, the Manor Nexus.
Oh, look at that. Oh, man.
NightMare's about to start splash dancing all his units.
Yeah, he is. He's like, get out, please.
Had to use the bathroom for the last 15 minutes, NightMare. Or Rex. NightMare's like, please get out.
But yeah, this is the experience of any Zerg player who's not top 4 Zerg. This is super hard to deal with and super frustrating, and they hate it, and they wish Protoss would get nerfed. But those darn Serral, Raynor, Dark Rogue players ruin it for everybody by easily handling this. He's not recalling top right, is
towards the right side. These Broodlords are gonna die. Has Rex seen the Manor Nexus? Yes, he has, with all his changelings.
Yep.
There's a recall unit, recalling the units back with the mothership.
Recalling back is so cool. Aw.
Feedback galore on the infestors. Rex is still engaging with his 10 corruptors. GG, there it is.
NightMare with the 3-0. Hard fought, though. Man,